We live in a world that celebrates speed, instant results, and quick wins. Every day, we are bombarded with messages telling us that success comes overnight, that one big idea or one big effort will change everything. But the truth is far more subtle and far more powerful. Success, real success, comes from consistency. Consistency is not glamorous. It does not appear in flashy headlines or viral moments. It is the quiet voice that says, do it again tomorrow. Do it one more time. Keep showing up, even when it feels repetitive. And yet, it is this simple, persistent act that shapes greatness. Every expert, every leader, every innovator has a story that begins not with a moment of genius, but with a series of small, consistent actions over time. Think about the habits that define your life. The people you admire, the skills you wish to master, the goals you long to achieve. They are all built on repetition. 1 hour of learning, one extra step, one small improvement, repeated day after day, builds momentum that compounds beyond what you can imagine. The power of consistency is invisible in the moment, but unstoppable over time. Consistency also teaches us patience. In a society obsessed with immediate gratification, learning to trust the process is revolutionary. There will be days when progress seems invisible. There will be setbacks, distractions, and doubts. But if we remain consistent, we honor the process, and over time, the results will honor us. Focus is inseparable from consistency. To remain consistent, we must eliminate the noise that pulls us in 100 directions. We must decide what truly matters and dedicate ourselves to showing up for it every day. It is not about doing everything. It is about doing the right things persistently. Perhaps most importantly, consistency builds trust. People trust those who show up, who follow through, who are steady in their commitments. Consistency is not only a tool for personal growth, it is the foundation of credibility, of leadership, and of influence. So, I challenge you today, stop chasing instant success. Stop looking for shortcuts. Instead, choose the path of consistency. Commit to small, meaningful actions every single day. Be patient with yourself and trust that over time, your dedication will create something remarkable. Remember, greatness is not born from a single moment. It is the result of thousands of moments, each one built upon the last, each one guided by focus and fueled by consistency. Show up, keep going. Do it again tomorrow. And then do it the day after. That is how change happens. That is how success is built. That is how you make your mark. In life, we often search for the big, dramatic changes, the breakthroughs that will instantly transform our situation, our career, or our personal growth. We are drawn to stories of overnight success, sudden wealth, or immediate recognition. But the reality is far simpler and far more powerful. Meaningful progress is rarely the result of a single event. True achievement is the product of small, consistent actions that accumulate over time. These small steps, though seemingly insignificant in isolation, compound to create results that are far greater than what we could achieve in a single monumental effort. Consider a single drop of water falling onto a rock. At first, it seems harmless. It has no power, no impact, no apparent effect. But day after day, month after month, year after year, those drops begin to shape the rock. They carve grooves, they erode surfaces, and eventually they create something remarkable. Our actions work in the same way. A single hour spent learning a skill, a single thoughtful gesture towards someone, or a single decision to prioritize our health may feel insignificant in the moment. But repeated consistently, these small actions accumulate into profound change. The power of small actions lies in their ability to compound. Just as interest compounds in finance, so do efforts compound in life. 1 extra hour of focused work each day may seem negligible, but over the course of a year, it becomes hundreds of hours of additional practice. One consistent effort to connect with others, to learn, or to improve builds momentum that accelerates growth and opens doors that would never appear from a single effort. Compounding is invisible at first. It is quiet, subtle, and often unrecognized. Yet, over time, it becomes unstoppable. Consistency in small actions also builds confidence and mastery. When we commit to daily or repeated efforts, we gradually transform habits into a natural rhythm. The act of showing up becomes automatic. We learn, we improve, and we gain experience that cannot be rushed. Every small step builds skill and reinforces belief in our own capabilities. This self-reinforcing cycle creates momentum, which makes further action easier and more natural. The compounding effect is not just in the results we achieve, but in the person we become along the way. Another crucial aspect of small actions compounding over time is the power of patience and trust in the process. It is tempting to seek immediate results, to measure success by instant feedback. But life does not always work in quick bursts. The meaningful outcomes, the ones that truly transform our lives, often take months, years, or even decades to appear. Trusting that our small, consistent efforts are building towards something greater requires patience and resilience. It requires a focus not on immediate gratification, but on long-term growth. Ultimately, embracing small actions compounding over time is about understanding the power of persistence. It is about choosing the daily actions that align with our goals and values and committing to them, no matter how small they seem. It is about showing up when it is inconvenient, pushing forward when motivation wanes, and recognizing that every step, however minor, contributes to a much larger picture. By consistently taking small, purposeful actions, we set in motion a process that gradually transforms our work, our skills, and our lives. The compounding effect is subtle at first, but relentless persistence ensures that it cannot be ignored. What begins as a seemingly insignificant effort eventually becomes extraordinary. Greatness is not achieved in a day, but through the power of small actions, repeated over time, and compounded into results that far exceed what we could imagine. In the end, success is not about a single leap forward. It is about the quiet, steady accumulation of effort, day by day, step by step, until it shapes our reality. In a world that celebrates speed, instant results, and immediate gratification, the value of patience often goes unnoticed. We live in a culture where success is measured by how quickly we achieve it, and yet the most meaningful accomplishments in life rarely arrive overnight. Consistency requires patience because it is not the dramatic, one-time effort that brings lasting results, but the repeated, disciplined actions we take over time. Without patience, consistency falters, and without consistency, progress stalls. Patience is not simply waiting. It is the ability to persist while maintaining focus and faith in the process. It is understanding that growth, mastery, and achievement take time. The results of our efforts are often invisible in the short term. A student may spend hours studying a subject without immediately seeing improvement. An entrepreneur may work tirelessly on a project, facing setbacks and failures before any tangible success appears. An athlete may train day after day, pushing their body to its limits, without instantly reaching their peak performance. In all these scenarios, patience is the bridge between effort and outcome. It allows us to stay committed, even when the results are delayed or uncertain. Consistency without patience is fragile. Many people start with enthusiasm, fueled by motivation and ambition, but when progress is slow, they become discouraged. They abandon the habits, the routines, and the disciplines that could have led to long-term success. Patience, however, allows us to endure the slow pace of growth, to recognize that each small effort is a building block for something greater. It reminds us that the process itself has value, and that the journey toward mastery shapes not only the outcome, but also the person we become along the way. Patience also teaches resilience. When we commit to consistent action, we inevitably encounter obstacles, setbacks, and failures. Without patience, these challenges can feel insurmountable, and we may be tempted to give up. With patience, we learn to see setbacks as part of the journey, as opportunities to adjust, learn, and grow. Every challenge becomes a chance to strengthen our commitment and deepen our understanding over time. Patience transforms difficulties into stepping stones and obstacles into lessons. Furthermore, patience allows us to appreciate the compounding effect of consistent effort. Like a tree growing from a seed, progress starts small and often invisible. A tree does not grow overnight, but with consistent care, watering, and sunlight, it gradually develops roots, branches, and leaves. Similarly, our efforts accumulate over time, creating momentum that eventually produces remarkable results. Patience ensures that we stay the course, even when immediate feedback is minimal, trusting that our persistence will bear fruit. Ultimately, patience is an essential companion to consistency because it cultivates trust in the process. It teaches us to value steady effort over fleeting bursts of energy and to focus on long-term goals rather than short-term gratification. Patience allows us to remain disciplined, to continue showing up day after day, and to maintain the habits and routines that lead to growth. By embracing patience, we honor the principle that meaningful success is rarely instant. We understand that the greatest achievements are built slowly, deliberately, and steadily. Consistency requires us to commit to the process, to invest our energy in the long term, and to trust that our efforts, repeated faithfully over time, will eventually yield results. In the end, patience does not simply allow us to endure. It empowers us to persevere, to grow, and to achieve in ways that fleeting motivation or hurried action never could. In the modern world, focus has become a rare and invaluable skill. We are surrounded by constant distractions, notifications, advertisements, endless streams of information, and the demands of daily life. Our attention is pulled in countless directions, making it easy to feel busy yet accomplish very little of true value. In the pursuit of meaningful goals, focus is essential. It is the lens through which we direct our energy, the compass that guides our efforts, and the force that allows consistency to translate into results. Without focus, even the most disciplined actions can scatter and lose their impact. Focus begins with clarity. To focus effectively, we must first know what truly matters. It is easy to become preoccupied with tasks that feel urgent but are not important, to react to every demand or distraction that comes our way. Real focus requires us to step back, to identify our priorities, and to align our daily actions with the goals that will shape our long-term vision. By clarifying what is important, we can direct our energy toward efforts that move us forward instead of dispersing it on activities that have little consequence. Once priorities are clear, focus demands deliberate attention. It is not enough to simply know what matters. We must commit our full presence to it. Multitasking, fragmented attention, and half-hearted effort dilute the power of our work. True focus means dedicating our mind, our time, and our energy to a single task or objective until it is completed or until meaningful progress is made. This kind of intentional concentration is what allows small, consistent actions to compound into results. It transforms effort into achievement and turns ambition into reality. Focus is also a shield against distraction. In a world designed to capture our attention, the ability to ignore what is irrelevant is important as the ability to concentrate on what matters. This means saying no, sometimes repeatedly, to opportunities, requests, and activities that do not serve our goals. It requires discipline, courage, and the understanding that every moment spent on the wrong thing is a moment stolen from what truly matters. The more we protect our focus, the more we protect our potential for growth and success. Moreover, focus amplifies the power of consistency. Consistent effort, repeated over time, produces results, but only when it is directed. Performing the right actions consistently requires sustained attention. Without focus, consistent effort risks becoming mere motion, activity without progress. Focus ensures that every action is purposeful, intentional, and aligned with our long-term vision. It bridges the gap between effort and outcome, making our work effective rather than just busy. Focus also sharpens decision-making. When our attention is clear, we can see patterns, understand consequences, and make choices that align with our priorities. Lack of focus, on the other hand, leads to reactive behavior, scattered efforts, and decisions driven by impulse rather than strategy. By cultivating focus, we gain control over our actions and direct them toward meaningful, deliberate outcomes. Ultimately, focus is essential because it is the foundation upon which success is built. It allows us to navigate complexity, resist distraction, and align our daily efforts with our larger purpose. It transforms intention into action and consistency into results. It is not just about working harder. It is about working smarter with clarity, attention, and dedication. When we commit to focus, we harness the true power of our energy. Every small effort becomes more meaningful, every repeated action moves us closer to our goals, and every choice contributes to the life we are trying to create. In a world full of noise and distraction, focus is the tool that allows us to rise above, to achieve, and to realize our potential. It is not optional, it is essential. Without it, effort becomes wasted motion. With it, effort becomes unstoppable progress. Trust and credibility are the cornerstones of meaningful relationships, effective leadership, and lasting success. They are not granted instantly, they are earned over time through actions that demonstrate reliability, integrity, and commitment. At the heart of building both trust and credibility lies a principle that is often overlooked but immensely powerful: consistency. Consistency in our behavior, our decisions, and our commitments communicates to others that we are dependable, that our word has value, and that we can be counted on even in challenging circumstances. When we act consistently, we create predictability. People know what to expect from us, which fosters a sense of security and confidence. Whether in personal relationships, professional environments, or social interactions, predictability breeds trust. When someone knows that we follow through on our promises, that we behave with integrity, and that our actions align with our words, they are more likely to rely on us, to collaborate with us, and to place their confidence in our abilities. Inconsistent behavior, on the other hand, creates doubt and hesitation. It erodes trust and undermines credibility, no matter how talented or well-intentioned we may be. Consistency also demonstrates commitment. It shows that we are willing to dedicate time, energy, and effort to our goals, relationships, and responsibilities. A leader who consistently shows up for their team, provides guidance, and acts in alignment with shared values gains credibility not just through authority, but through the steady proof of their reliability. Similarly, an individual who consistently follows through on personal or professional obligations demonstrates respect for others and accountability for their actions. This steadfastness communicates that we take our responsibilities seriously, and it builds a reputation that is both respected and trusted. Moreover, consistency amplifies integrity. Integrity is more than doing the right thing once. It is doing the right thing repeatedly, even when no one is watching. When our values guide our actions consistently, we establish a foundation of trust that is unshakable. People observe not just what we say, but what we do over time. Our credibility is strengthened when our actions repeatedly align with our principles, reinforcing the perception that we are honest, reliable, and principled. In this way, consistency becomes the evidence of integrity, the visible proof that we can be trusted. Consistency also fosters long-term relationships. Trust is rarely instant. It develops gradually as people witness repeated demonstrations of reliability and competence. By consistently showing up, keeping promises, and maintaining high standards, we earn the respect and confidence of others. Over time, this builds a strong foundation for collaboration, mentorship, partnership, and influence. Without consistency, even the most impressive skills or knowledge can be overshadowed by unpredictability, uncertainty, or unreliability. Finally, consistency builds credibility by establishing a track record of success. People trust those who demonstrate results, not sporadically, but reliably over time. Whether in business, personal growth, or leadership, a consistent record of performance creates a reputation that precedes us. This credibility opens doors, attracts opportunities, and builds influence because others know that we are capable of delivering, not just occasionally, but dependably. In essence, trust and credibility are not accidental. They are earned through repeated, consistent action. They are the product of reliability, integrity, and commitment demonstrated over time. Every small, consistent effort contributes to the perception that we are dependable, principled, and competent. By committing to consistency, we cultivate trust, strengthen credibility, and create relationships and opportunities that endure. Consistency is not merely a habit, it is a signal to the world that we can be relied upon, that our word is valuable, and that our actions have integrity. In a world where trust is fragile and credibility is hard to earn, consistency is the key that unlocks both. Motivation is often seen as the spark that ignites action. We wait for it to arrive, believing that when we feel inspired, we will achieve great things. We tell ourselves that if we only had more drive, more energy, or more enthusiasm, we could accomplish our goals. But motivation is fleeting. It fluctuates from day to day, influenced by emotions, circumstances, and external events. It is unreliable, unpredictable, and often insufficient to sustain long-term progress. What truly matters is daily commitment, the unwavering choice to show up and take action, regardless of how we feel in the moment. Daily commitment is the foundation of consistency. It is the decision to act in alignment with our goals, even when motivation is low, even when challenges arise, and even when the path forward feels difficult or uncertain. Motivation may push us to start, but daily commitment carries us through. It is the habit of showing up, the discipline to keep moving forward, and the resilience to persist when enthusiasm wanes. By prioritizing commitment over motivation, we take control of our growth and ensure that our progress is not dependent on fluctuating emotions. The power of daily commitment lies in its compounding effect. Small, consistent actions repeated every day accumulate into significant results over time. Writing a page each day, practicing a skill for 30 minutes daily, or making one healthy choice consistently will, over weeks and months, produce results that far surpass what a burst of motivation could achieve. Motivation may inspire a single day of intense effort, but without commitment, that effort is often wasted, isolated, and unsustainable. Daily commitment transforms effort into lasting progress. Daily commitment also fosters resilience. Life is unpredictable, and challenges are inevitable. There will be days when we feel tired, distracted, or discouraged. Motivation alone is fragile in the face of setbacks. It can disappear the moment circumstances become difficult. Commitment, however, is steadfast. It allows us to persevere, to continue showing up, and to maintain momentum even when the road is tough. Each day we honor our commitment, we strengthen our discipline, build confidence, and reinforce the habits that lead to long-term success. Moreover, commitment shifts our focus from results to process. Motivation is often tied to outcomes. We feel inspired when we see progress or anticipate success. Commitment, in contrast, emphasizes the importance of consistent action, regardless of immediate outcomes. It teaches us that success is not about feeling ready or excited. It is about taking deliberate steps every day, trusting that the process will eventually lead to meaningful results. This mindset fosters patience, persistence, and a deeper understanding of the value of effort itself. Daily commitment also builds credibility and trust, both with ourselves and with others. When we consistently follow through on our responsibilities, promises, and goals, we develop a reputation for reliability and integrity. People notice when we show up day after day, and our own confidence grows as we prove to ourselves that we can maintain focus and discipline. Commitment becomes a source of strength, reinforcing our belief in our ability to achieve long-term objectives. Ultimately, motivation alone is not enough. Inspiration may light a fire, but it cannot sustain it. True progress, meaningful growth, and lasting success are built on the unwavering foundation of daily commitment. By showing up consistently, by taking action even when we do not feel motivated, and by prioritizing discipline over fleeting emotion, we transform our goals into reality. Daily commitment is not about excitement or passion. It is about persistence, reliability, and the quiet, steady effort that turns intention into achievement. It is through this daily dedication that dreams are realized, skills are mastered, and success is truly earned. Greatness is often imagined as a monumental achievement, a single moment of brilliance, or an extraordinary act that sets someone apart from the rest. We picture it as a headline, a trophy, or a dramatic turning point. Yet in reality, greatness is not a sudden event. It is not born from one decisive action or a singular display of talent. True greatness is the result of countless small moments, repeated decisions, and deliberate choices that accumulate over time. Each moment matters because it contributes to the trajectory of our lives, shaping our character, skills, and influence in ways that are often invisible until the impact becomes undeniable. Every action we take, no matter how minor it may seem, is a moment that contributes to the bigger picture. Choosing to practice a skill for an extra 30 minutes, showing up for someone in need, delivering on a promise, or even making a conscious choice to veer through discomfort, these are the moments that, over time, define who we are. They may feel insignificant at the time, like drops in an ocean, but they accumulate and compound, creating outcomes far greater than any isolated effort could achieve. Greatness emerges not from a single heroic gesture, but from the pattern of these small, consistent acts. Consistency within these moments is what turns ordinary effort into extraordinary achievement. Talent, intelligence, or luck may give someone a head start, but without repeated action, those advantages rarely translate into lasting success. It is the daily decisions, the persistent efforts, and the refusal to settle for mediocrity that build a foundation for greatness. Each moment in which we choose discipline over comfort, learning over stagnation, or courage over fear contributes to the larger mosaic of our achievements. The compounding effect of these decisions creates momentum that propels us forward, shaping not just results, but the very person we become in the process. Moreover, recognizing that greatness is a series of moments helps us embrace patience. The results of our efforts are rarely immediate. There will be days when progress seems invisible and challenges appear insurmountable. It is in these moments, when perseverance is tested, that the seeds of greatness are often sown. By valuing each step, each decision, and each small victory, we maintain focus on the journey rather than becoming discouraged by the absence of instant results. Understanding the cumulative power of moments allows us to appreciate the process and trust that our consistent efforts will bear fruit over time. Greatness also requires presence and attention. Moments only have the power to shape us if we engage with them fully. A careless or distracted effort, no matter how frequent, has less impact than one approached intentionally. Being fully present in each moment, whether in learning, working, or interacting with others, ensures that our actions carry meaning and that each choice contributes positively to our path. Mindfulness in action magnifies the significance of each moment, turning ordinary experiences into opportunities for growth, influence, and progress. Finally, greatness is not confined to achievement alone. It is reflected in character, influence, and the way we affect others. Each moment in which we act with integrity, empathy, or courage builds a legacy that extends far beyond immediate accomplishments. Greatness is cumulative. It is the sum of every ethical decision, every act of dedication, and every moment in which we rise to meet our responsibilities. By embracing the idea that greatness is built one moment at a time, we shift our perspective from seeking shortcuts or instant recognition to valuing the steady, deliberate, and meaningful choices that shape a life of impact. In the end, greatness is not an isolated event. It is a journey composed of countless moments, each building upon the last. It is the product of patience, consistency, focus, and intentional action. By honoring each moment, by showing up, making the right choices, and persevering through challenges, we create a life that reflects true greatness. Every day, every decision, and every action matters because they are the building blocks of the extraordinary life we are capable of living.